Hey, what's up, people? Welcome back to ZA Ball with my man John Morgan. John, how are you doing, brother?
I am mixed emotions. More happy than sad, but kind of disappointed, but uh, very happy when it comes to Liverpool losing.
Yay. I think we're all on the same page with that this morning, but the good book says you need to remove the speck in your eye before you deal with the log in your brother's eye. So let's deal with United first. So Man United play Bournemouth. The title of our last stream was, can we, you know, do ourselves some justice and come back? Like, are we going to avenge the 3-0? And the answer is no, we can't. Tell us, John, what was going through your mind when you were watching the game this weekend?
To be fair, like I was watching the game and I wasn't pick up quotes. Uh, I was watching the game and I wasn't really like how do I put this? I wasn't upset because it's
Yeah,
same old, right? So
yeah,
expecting something different from a team that is currently trying to find itself um, is kind of an expectation that you're never going to be able to satisfy. What's up, Kenny? So when the first goal happens, you realize that it's a young players, right? And it's down to sloppy mistakes, us losing the ball in sloppy areas, and especially when it comes to our team. If you look at the individuals now, a lot of the players in the team don't cover themselves in glory, right? Like Rashford, Bruno,
mm,
Casemiro, he had a very bad game, but a lot of those players, um, but then when the young players is not doing what they have been doing this season, we tend to be worse than what we currently are, which
yeah.
which which is weird. So um, we get the equalizer, and all of a sudden we give up the lead again due to sloppiness. The first goal was sloppy. What's up, mental? This first goal was sloppy, right? The second game, first goal was sloppy, right?
Yeah,
Wally slipping. Apparently, the Bournemouth watered the pitch,
I
and
was about to say that pitch looked diabolical, bro.
but
Like our players were skating on that pitch on Saturday.
it was crazy because the commentator said that Bournemouth watered the field. Uh, nah, it's not guns. It's just hot. But Bournemouth literally watered the pitch 4 minutes longer than usual. But it's weird because like if it's raining, then what's the excuse? But I
Mm,
guess for me, like it's a thing of for if it goes for one team, it must go for the other. So it kind of was a issue. But anyway, Willie slips, and we give a goal away. Down to sloppy play from the beginning of that as well, with Garnacho giving the ball away. And then literally, Dallo makes a decision to cover wide. Willie doesn't go to his man. The pass into I think it was Clive. It was so easy, so clean
yes.
that he could do it so quickly, so easily. And all of a sudden, we're back to one down. Second half, I think we did well. Second half, I think we played a much better. We were much more competitive. I don't think we played better on the ball. I think the game in itself we were poor, but we were much more competitive. And from a team, that's what you expect. You expect even if you're not playing well, even if you're not at your 100% best, you must at least compete for the ball. You must at least compete on the field, run, make tackles, do what you need to do. And I think in the second half we saw much more than the first. And look there, we didn't concede. And so um, so for me, I was happy with the fact that we competed, um, and I was just very like I was just disappointed that we didn't do more to get the third goal, because the game could have gone both ways. It could have gone Bournemouth's way in them winning with that penalty decision. And I thought that it was actually a disgrace that they gave the penalty again because the player literally runs into Wally. Wally just stands there. He can't get out of the way. He player runs into Wally, takes a contact, goes down, and then the ref finds out it's outside of the box. So it could have gone that way, and it could have gone another way. We could have, and I noticed, right? So we always say we don't get shots. The problem is with Vegeta. at the moment, the reason why we don't get shots is not because we don't get into positions to make attacking angles and attacking play. The problem is that we wasteful when we get into these areas. So when it gets into the area of we must make the final pass or we must make a pass that leads to a chance, we catch on nonsense. The team gets into shape and they snuff out danger very quickly. So in that sense, right, I was like, yo, like why can't we just mm, like go for it, man? Like Cornetto sometimes had the ball on the wide in the first half and whoop the ball into the box, even if it's gonna be blocked. Whoop it into the dangerous area. See what Hoyland can do. See what players running into the box can do. And we got some rewards from that with Bruno getting our first goal. So yeah, I just think that the game, like it went both ways and it went up and down. And I see the positive in us fighting, but afterwards the players coming out and giving out sly digs at the play at the manager. Uh, I didn't like that.
Mm. No, I definitely have to agree with you with some of the points that you made. I think on the day we just had too many players off form is the problem that we were facing. Too many bad players. And usually through a game, if you've got like one or two players that are not having a good game, you can sort of carry them and maybe try and hide a lot of that. But when you've got like you're saying 4 or 5 players on the day, um, more specifically in your midfield not having a good game, then we can't really be surprised with the result itself. I'm still perplexed as to why we're still seeing Rashford starting for us. He still doesn't seem like he's mentally present with this team. I think he's thinking about his next Twitter statement, perhaps. I'm surprised that Garnacho, even though he didn't have a good game, came off instead of Rashford. Because even though Garnacho is having a bad game, we know that the kid will still put in effort. He'll still try to go back and defend. Whereas with Rashford, we're getting nothing from him. So maybe I would have preferred to see Ahmad come on for Rashford instead of, Garnacho coming off. And, in saying that, John, how do you feel the manager did yesterday from his perspective in managing the game and how the game was going? He only made 2 substitutions, I believe, on the day. Do you think that was good enough from the manager, or could he have done more to influence the game?
Um, that's a very good question. Before I answer that question, I just want to highlight what Mental's saying here. Everyone wants to be a hero in this team. They would rather take low percentage shots than give it to another player in a better position. Exactly, Mental. And I think that speaks to the age that we have in our team. We have a player now. Marcus Rashford hasn't grown up, right? We have to be honest. He always tries and runs through the team. When there's 5 people in front of him, he will try and dribble through them, which works
Mm,
on my last nerve. But we have got Nacho, who's young, 19 years old. We have Hoyland, who's about 20. But he's very selfless in his play. Bruno Fernandes
mm,
always takes the impetus. Kobe is young. Okay, Casemiro doesn't get into positions like that. Then we have Ahmad coming on, Anthony coming on, both young players. So that comes with age. You know what I mean?
mm.
And I think that we're suffering that because these players don't they want to take responsibility, but they also can't.
Too young.
The decision making is a bit off. On your question with regards to the manager, right?
Yeah.
Um, when I looked at it, right, and I was looking at the mentality we came out with, and I really saw same old, sloppy on the ball, not doing the basics and the fundamentals. And then I thought, okay, making a change, Garnacho for Ahmad, he doesn't do that often, right? Because he doesn't bring up
Mm,
Garnacho. He didn't bring up Garnacho uh, often this season
mm.
at halftime. Right? He will come off,
Yes.
but that's later on in the game when the game is done. But at halftime,
Yes.
you make a change like Garnacho because Garnacho is a threat. So taking him off, he must have been really upset, and he must have thought, look, and I'm gonna take him off now. You can't be moving like the way you're moving. So
Yeah,
I
but
think in that sense, I was happy. But from a change the game perspective, I think that the game was here to be won for us. You feel me? And I feel like
yeah.
before the first goal, before we equalized the second goal, right? Before we made it 2-2. If we kept playing like that, right? If we kept playing the way we played before it was 2-2, we would have won the game. You see, so it's difficult, man, because like you want to change the game, but the game is in your favor. So now you get to 2-2. Now the expectation is you go on and win it. The problem is we don't go on and win it. The problem is we go and we sit back and concede chances. We allow them to play. We allow them to do what they want to do. And for me, as a manager, if I'm because I'm thinking about it maybe in corporate, right? You put
Mm.
people in the right positions, all right? You put them in the right position. You tell them, okay, now let's say it's sales. Go and make the sale. As a manager, you can't take the phone from the person and then make the sale for the person because then the person's not going to learn and grow and do their job, right? And in
Yeah,
this
but is it
instance, yeah, go on.
but John, is it normal to have a whole department of salespeople who don't know how to sell because it's one win in 7 games that we've had? That's not a really good record to be.
Okay, okay. Now we need to look at that in context, right? So, but in context, the last four before now Bournemouth, the last 3 games we were leading the game, all right?
Yes.
We were leading the game. Before that, there was an opportunity for us to get closer to the top four. In Brentford, we didn't play well. A sign of a good team is to nick a goal in the end or nick a goal and protect that lead, right?
Yeah.
If you're new here, like and subscribe. We do really do appreciate it. But if 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 you keep onto the Brentford, I kept thinking about this morning. If you keep onto the Brentford win, right, that gives you momentum into Chelsea. The way we played against Chelsea, we should have won. We keep that lead. That takes us into momentum against Liverpool, right? The ref does it completely dirty against Liverpool. Right. Also, we don't cover ourselves in glory enough in the first half, so you warrant a 2-2. Right. But all
Okay.
of a sudden, the mentally the team is much better off than what they were off in the last 3 games. You understand? So
Yeah.
from a perspective of like how much can we come how much can the manager do? It's very in this moment it's very little because you're asking to change mentality when the experience right now is losers. The experience right now that the players have in the young state, they losers. So
Okay.
you need
Let's
to
maybe.
allow them. Yeah, go on.
Sorry. Just finish that statement, then maybe respond to what mental ball game is saying here. But you can maybe just finish that last thought. Sorry, man.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that while the players, while the team is busy losing, right, you
Yeah.
have to allow that process to take place of them to feel the loss, feel what it feels like to lose a game, to be hurt and to struggle, so that when it comes down to title races, right, the next season, the season after, whenever we're going to challenge for the title again, then you have it in your head and in your heart that I was once a loser, but now I know how to handle these moments because again we have a young team. I'm gonna read Mental's comment. John, what I didn't like from Ten Hag yesterday was he highlighted the mistake on Nacho made specifically, while he had not while he had not done that to players like Bruno and Rashford the whole season. Alright? Right. So one thing, alright, I wanna just uh mention something.
Mm.
I hear that, right? I hear the fact that you didn't like it, right? Nobody likes to be called out. Nobody likes to be corrected, especially in public, right? But for a player like Onacho, who's all about his image and all about him being the next Ronaldo, you need to call him out, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, he needs to understand and he needs to want to better himself. If you tell him something in the if you tell him something in the what you call it in the dressing room, it's kind of like but for me personally, I feel like if you're telling something in front of if you try and correct him and the people know that he's trying to be corrected, he will then take it more serious because of the person the player that he's trying to become. Right? For me, Cornecho is not soft. I don't think Cornecho is soft. There's players in the dressing room that can mold Cornecho and help Cornecho in a way where he can grow. Because remember, we had a problem with Cornecho with
Mm.
his attitude coming late to training. We've heard about it so many times. So calling him, I don't think it was a bad idea from Tena calling him out because next week we have Coventry. All right. And this could be
Yeah.
maybe mind games from Ten Hag. Next week we have Coventry. We can't have players like Onacho and so Ahmad also put out a social media post. But players like Cornecho, Hoyland, Kobe, all these young players, Willie Kambuala, because we don't have centre backs. All of these young players thinking that it's okay to put a performance like that in the league for while you have a United shirt on. I think that is. I think if you think that's okay, then you're at the wrong club. So for me, I also was taken aback by it, but at the same time, maybe it can be good because he's a young player. He needs to be molded. He needs to learn. He needs to learn from this experience. It needs to hurt him. He needs to feel. For me, if you don't feel, you will never learn.
Yeah, but isn't it better for the manager to like Minto was saying? What about players like I won't say Bruno because Bruno had a good game yesterday. And Bruno has had good games this season, but a player like Rashford who has been all over the place, he's not covered himself in glory. He's had a few scandals himself, and he's meant to be our talisman. Does is it isn't it maybe if I take a page from Arteta's book, which right now seems crazy because they lost yesterday, but he dealt decisively with players like Obama Yang, which kind of sent a message to the young guys to say he is the manager and he is in charge, and irrespective of who you are in the eyes of the fans, because the fans weren't happy when he did that to Obama Yang, mind you, he was a
Mm,
fan favorite, but. It doesn't that send more of a message than maybe calling out a player like Ganacho, who is playing for the manager, and
mm,
maybe he's had a bad day in the office, but it's not like he's not trying to show up for the manager. You get what I'm saying? He's still putting in
yeah.
the effort. He just had a bad game.
Yeah. So we know that players down tools, right? So I don't want to shy away from players downing tools. I just want to come to this comment from Wajid about Rashford. I disagree, John. Rashford was out partying in Ireland, and it was dealt with internally. Quotation marks. He shouldn't be shooting on the young players when he's not calling out any other seniors. Okay, now I understand that point, all right. But when it comes to Rashford specifically, I believe you don't kick a dog while it's down. Okay, and calling out Rashford and calling out his bad performances would kind of be like kicking a dog while it's down because how many other people have been calling out Rashford? How many other people have been making it known that Rashford's not playing well? And I would, if you had to ask him, right? If you had to ask him in all honesty, Rashford, do you think you're playing well this season? He would tell you absolutely not. I don't think I'm playing well. All right.
I
So
don't know.
from
I don't
that
know, man. I don't,
perspective, yeah, just hold on. So from that perspective, I wouldn't go in a press conference and say, yeah, Rashford has been. I wouldn't do the same thing I would do with Cornecho because Rashford is not the same age as Cornecho.
mm,
Cornecho needs to be molded, and this could be the molding process. Remember, when you're being molded, when you're being cut, it hurts, and you need to feel it. So that's why I think that is it Mark Richards in the chat. Oh, Mark, we're coming to you,
I'm
boy.
surprised he's actually showed up today. I thought he was gonna go into hiding after
Ah.
yesterday.
But anyway, so yeah, I'm of the opinion that again I will say this: Cornecho being called out in the media, I have my doubts about it. All right, I have my reservations, but I'm also saying I understand it. All right, I'm
Yeah,
also saying I understand why I didn't call out Rashford. That's why I'm saying I under I have my
you understand
reservations
why
and
he's
I
not doing it.
exactly.
You know what? If Rashford, I'm gonna take a United player as an example this time. Eric Cantona was a maverick, right? He did eccentric stuff. He did stuff that maybe we wouldn't find acceptable, but because he performed on the pitch, I think Alex Ferguson was able to then justify how he dealt with him. Because if you listen to a lot of the players that played with Eric, they say that it almost felt unfair at times, especially a lot of the young players. The fact that Ferguson would give them the hair dryer, but when it comes to Cantona, it would be sort of maybe a softer approach. But you look at that and you say, but he was the talisman of the team. When it came to
Mm,
the match day, he would actually show up. Whereas a player
yeah.
like Rashford, I think to a degree he's bought into his own hype. Um, Look, you've had a good breakout season. You've had a good season last year, but you haven't gotten to a point where you get to just do what you want, in my opinion.
Mm,
And if we're getting to a point where the manager can't criticize him because he's already been criticized enough, he hasn't been criticized by Eric. To be fair, Eric has stood by Rashford, but I think he needs a little bit of tough love right now because if he knows that he's not performing well and he's still giving us these performances, I'm even more worried. I would like to believe maybe he's not as self aware as we'd like to think he is. And that's why he's still playing the way he is. Because look at some of the stuff he's saying on social media. Like he's saying that he loves it when people doubt it. We're doubting you, buddy, and you're not showing us anything. You get me? Like, I'm just worried about the mental space he's in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And he seems to
I
be
heard
getting away with it to a degree.
I yeah. I heard on the weekend that this celebration is to do with mental health. And he does the celebration because he's been going through mental health and he's overcoming mental health. So I'm not sure how true that is. I heard it from someone and I was like, that's interesting because I was of the opinion that this mentality is a mentality monster, but based on what we've seen recently, in a way he's close to being a mentality monster. So for me, it always comes down to players like Marcus Rashford, players like Bruno Fernandes, players like Casemiro, players like Onana, players like what's his name, Rafael Varane, Dallo.
Yeah.
These are players that has been in the team and that has constantly been inconsistent. All right. And again, I come to the point of we are asking these players to be consistent when they don't know what consistency feels like. They have never ever been consistent in a Man United team where the media is against you, your own fans is against you, every other fan base is against you, and you are under the scrutiny every single moment of every single day. So that is the issue that we have at the moment. That we have players in our team that isn't in our players that are asked that have been asked to play different systems over the years, and it hasn't worked out. All right. Now we have a manager that's in the low moment of his career. All right. And every manager goes through these things. Right. If you, regardless of the manager that you are, you go through this. If you look at Pep, Pep had an issue. He came third in his first season. What did he do? All his new signings, or most of his new signing, was like, this was a mistake. I need to buy new players. Right? Bought Bravo, sold Bravo, bought Edison. Right? Bought Delph, sold Delph. I need the other one. Right? So different players came in and it didn't work. His system, the system didn't work. So what I'm saying is that at the moment, what we have is the players that we currently have right now has been here before, and when they were here before, the manager got sacked and they didn't take accountability for their performances. The club right now is in a precarious position because they have a new ownership.
Mm.
So it's easier for them to remove the manager because it's not their guy. But in reality, regardless of the manager you bring in, the players that you have is going to let that manager down because Rashford's on a big contract, Bruno's on a big contract, Maguire's coming into the last season of his career at United, but not last season of his contract at United, but he's also on a big contract. We have Wambasaka that's on a big contract. We have Anthony who's on a big contract. We have Onana was on a big contract. Most of these players that came in recently is on big contracts. Mount's on a big contract. So now you say you're in a position we can't get rid of the players because who's going to buy them and who's going to pay the wages and who's going to pay the transfer fee. So now we can say, okay, but we can get rid of the manager. But that defeats the purpose. Because if you look at it, there has been moments this season, when we've played well. There's been moments this season where we played bad. And that's the reality we find ourselves in. Do we cultivate why we playing well in moments? Or do we focus on the negative and say, no, this is too bad. We need a new manager. That's why I am reserved with regards to not reserved, but that's why I'm full support of Eric Ten Hag, because Eric Ten Hag has shown and proven that with these players and with the correct players that he has, he can get us somewhere, and that's kind of what I'm holding on to. It's starting to. I don't want to say it's starting to become difficult, but the noise around the club really makes me very distracted and makes me ask more questions than I wouldn't normally ask. Like I was thinking to myself now the in the weekend, like if Eric Ten Hag goes right, what will then be the future? And I never thought that because I don't believe he's going to go. I fully believe that the people that's in the boardroom can see that this is a quality manager. The way he does things, the way he articulates, the way he handles himself. Now, the way he's been handling players has been a bit questionable, but I think it comes from a point of knowing your role. And a lot of these players think they're bigger than what they actually are. Cornecho hasn't won anything, but I think he thinks he's bigger than what he actually is. All right? If you're questioning the manager at 19, brother, you have a problem. At 19 years old, you're questioning the manager. Hold up. All right? So, yeah, for me, that is really. And I see your mentors agreeing with me. While I agree with you, John, don't you think we need to be in a worse situation next season? Don't you think we would be in a worse situation next season if Eric Ten Hag doesn't work out? We will have more new players with big contracts. Where I agree with that, all right, worst position, I would say no. The reason why I would say no is because next season is when your Harry Maguire contract ends. You need to make a decision on Scott McTominay. You need to make a decision on Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You need to make a decision on more players in the team that needs to leave. I think you need to make a decision on Bruno Fernandes next season. You need to make a decision on a few players. Victor Lindelof. There's a lot of players you need to make a decision on. And if that means that, okay, you're going to make a decision of selling these players, then all of a sudden, now you can work with what new manager comes in and who do we need to bring in with on bigger, better contracts. We had a guy named Ralph Ragnick. Ralph Ragnick told us exactly what we needed to do. Literally, exactly, word for word. I used to count that guy's letters the way he would speak because I actually loved the way he spoke about football. And he said, we need open heart surgery. We need to let go of players and we need to sign players. But at party, we sign players and we don't let go. Now we have entitled, toxic, leaking to the media players that don't agree with training, that don't agree with training schedules, that don't agree with fitness, that don't agree with all those different things that they come with. And we have new players being infected by these toxicity. If you put a rotten apple in an apple basket, the whole apple basket is going to be rotten. So, yeah, I see here we have the crying Arsenal fan. Hard to fully judge Ten Hag considering all the injuries he had to deal with. Wow. Comment of the day from my
You know
brother.
what? On one hand, he might be objective, but on the other hand, he's an op. So I don't know if he's enjoying our suffering or if that's a genuine critique or
Bro,
you know.
my man is going through it. That guy is going through it. He was winning the league. He was winning the Champions League. And in a week, he's finished.
Yeah. But coming back to some of the points you made, I think one of the most important things that Ralph highlighted that I think we can all agree with is that before you even start dealing with your manager and players, which is something that Ignos is looking at, you have to, when you're doing the open heart surgery, you kind of have to be decisive in what you're trying to do as a club. And we haven't been. I mean, if you look at how we've recruited and the managers that we've brought in, it's been all over the place. So there hasn't been a footballing strategy, and that's something that we need to allow the new guys to come in and do. And I think that's part of the reason why they went to go get somebody like Omar Barada, because he's been part of a I guess a footballing legacy that has known what they wanted to do, not just at City but at the City group as a whole. And if you look at what Ineos is doing, they don't just own United; they have other sporting franchises. So
Mm,
they still need to determine what they want to see from United. And I think the myth that people need to get over is that we want to play Pep Guardiola football. I don't think that's what they want. I think that's not the be all and end all of football. There are other styles of football, and I think these guys just need to determine what they want, and then from there they need to determine if the current manager aligns with that, and if the players who we have right now align with that. And I'd say for the most part, probably not. And maybe not the manager because maybe they like Ten Hag and they agree with John and they
mm.
think that he is the person to back. They just need to clean up the mess that the Glazers and their people have created over the last 10 years before they even get to deal with Ten Hag. I just think from a fan perspective, because we're very impatient people, the question I want to ask a person like John, who seems to be a lot more optimistic than I am, is how long, how much rope do we give him before we cut it off? Because as much as I want to back Ten Hag, I was saying this to Mark, not our Mark, the other Mark that we know from the UK. I was saying to Mark, like it's getting very hard to defend Ten Hag because some of the decisions on the day or during with these games are becoming a little bit ridiculous. I'm starting to wonder if some of these people have clauses or if the manager is so loyal to players, he'll play them through their bad form. So as much as I think yes, he needs to be given time, he needs to be given the right place because these people have survived Lord knows how many famines in the managers we've had. We do need to get rid of all this, all the cancer. We need to get rid of the tumor and remove the player power because that's another thing that has been allowed to thrive in this club. And like you're saying, I think it sends the wrong message to get rid of Ten Hag. I think maybe that's why they even haven't looked at getting rid of him. Because if anything, Ineos have proved if they were going to get rid of Ten Hag, they would have started putting plans from when they got here.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to get rid of the manager, you kind of do it in advance, to plan for the summer, and maybe give him the last couple of games to analyze these players. The new manager, if hypothetically, but obviously
Mm.
you got a manager in Ten Hag who's been here for 2 years, so they don't have to go through all of that. He kind of knows which players he wants and which players he doesn't want, and I think they're probably gonna try and work with that before not being like us. And let's just say it's a good thing they're not fans. They're not gonna take a rash decision with the manager, and I think he'll
Yeah.
probably be here come next season. I just think Ten Hag for these last few games try something different. Try not playing people who are not backing you because it's your job that's on the line. It's your neck that's on the line. And if you're going to keep playing people that are going to make it easier for the new people to get rid of you, I can't imagine what it was like for John trying to defend Ten Hag this weekend because it's getting really hard at the moment.
Now, so you see, the thing is, right? If I look at the game itself, right, we concede because of sloppiness. We concede because of players not fully experienced enough. Right? Now, you asked me a question. The question was,
Yes,
how much rope do we give him? Right?
yes,
And I don't think it's with regards to rope in a sense of like what he can deliver in production. I think it's time, right? Time, as in how much value in the next, let's say, season can he add for us to look at this holistically and think, okay, I see where this is going. In the next couple of years, we'll be challenging for a trophy, right? When I say trophy, I mean Premier League. So that's how I see things, right? I want, when it comes to the rope, I want to see a change, right, in our mentality. We need to change our mentality. The manager needs to find a way to change the mentality that kind of festers our players in a sense of when they are expected. And this was the biggest issue that I had last week in the preview, is that when they are expected to put in a performance and do well, then they crumble against a team that knows how to work harder than them. Right? They have the quality of the Premier League, and in the Premier League, everybody's quality. But the problem is that they're mentally weak. They mentally crumble when it comes to expected to win. Okay, so that expectation of we going now against, let's say next season. Now it is against, let's say, Palace, Bournemouth, Fulham, and our last game is, let's say, Arsenal. Say that's the run of fixtures. All right, the expectation of those four fixtures is to at least get 9 points and 1 point at least, or 12 points. The players needs to be able to deliver on that expectation. So that's what I want to see. Because we know, Vegeta, that this team can do well. We know it, we've seen it, we've been there. We had the moments we celebrated. Like I said again, we've also been there when this team has just completely Brentford away crumbled. How is
yeah,
he supposed to change the mentality if he allows the people who are playing poorly to stay on the pitch and not replace them? But now, mental, you don't have. So you spoke about Rashford starting. I saw not a report, but some information came out, where Anthony was injured. Anthony was injured in the week. Cornacho trained. Um, he didn't train well because he was sick. So Rashford was back, and that's why Rashford started with Cornacho, right? And Cornacho came off because he didn't train well in the week, and that's what I got. So yes, we want to change the let's say mentality, and or change the players, but the problem is not quality. The problem is mentality. So bringing a different player doesn't change the mentality. The player in the position with the quality needs to change their mentality for the mentality to change, if you understand what I mean. And that comes with time, and that comes with experience, and that comes with consistency. I could be wrong, but that's how I see it.
Yeah,
Casemiro
I
has
really
been
hope.
horrible. Whoa, whoa,
Yeah, he's
whoa.
been.
Amrabat. No chance. Amrabat. Nee, 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 nee,
But you
nee,
know
nee,
what,
nee,
John?
nee.
Can I just play devil's advocate for a second? It almost feels like Emrabat got a few chances. One, first of all, he played out of position in the left back, and the moment we put him into the central midfield, he makes a mistake, and he's like crucified. He's gone. We haven't seen him since then. But
Bro,
people like he's saying, Casemiro is not doing anything to do. He's not doing any favors for us, but he keeps playing.
Ca- Casemiro and Amrabat is chalk and cheese. Even this Casemiro that we've seen. This Casemiro that we're seeing is not great. But the Amrabat that we have on the bench,
But so what? You're
maybe.
not going to give players a chance to
No,
play out of that?
no, 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 no.
Nah, that's
We've
ridiculous,
seen
man. You
enough.
see, but
For
you see
me
now this.
personally,
How could you have seen? How many games has Emrabat played for us this season?
enough.
Let's
Enough, bro. Enough.
no,
I've seen enough, bro. Honestly,
not a
I've seen
chance,
him
buddy.
turn. Okay, wait. I've seen him turn. Problem. Turn. His turns take 2 games. He takes 2 games to turn. All right. I've seen him turn. Then I've seen him give a mistake away every single time he plays. Every single time we play, he gives the ball away, and the other team gets a chance, and it clears him. Like you get that mistakes where it's between 3 players. 3 players made a mistake, and they get a chance. Right. So
Yeah.
the first player makes a mistake. Uh, second player gets an opportunity. He makes a mistake. Third player gets an opportunity. He also makes a mistake, and they get a chance. No, with Emrabat, he makes a mistake, and they get the chance immediately. That's what number 2. He don't have a range of passing. Right.
Nah, but
Also,
okay, but
he's not
okay,
mobile.
continue.
He's not mobile. All right. So with Casemiro has this thing where he can tackle and he can pass. Problem is
I
his
haven't seen
decision
it this
making
season.
at times is problematic. But we've
I
seen
have.
Casemiro though. We know him. So
Yeah,
with
but I'm
Amrabat,
saying, what have you done for me recently, bro? That's what I'm trying to say. We can't keep living off what people have done in the past. I mean, we're suffering for the fact that this guy had Rashford had a good season last year. We're suffering for that this year, bro. I wonder, what have you done for me recently, bro? So that people don't get comfortable. You can't get comfortable. I mean, look at it. When players won, what's it?
yeah. But the thing is, comfortability is a problem, or you don't have comfortability when the team is losing. When the team is losing, you can't. There's no such thing as comfortability because the media's up your bum. Whoa, pause. Hold up. No chance of that happening. The media is there in the background. The fans is upset. Opposition fans is laughing. Everybody's crazy. It's crisis. Everything is going wrong. The club is burning down. We are finished. Right? That's what's happening when we're losing. No chance can you be comfortable. Rashford's having the worst season, but he plays every week. He's not comfortable. He's no chance he's comfortable. There's times where Rashford knows he's not comfortable, and that's why he needs to prove himself. But then he has too much. He's a try-out. So I understand what you're saying about comfortability. You have your place, and you just meander here. You put in a performance there. You don't really work, but you do work. So it kind of is here and there. But the problem is, at this club, comfortability is a myth because you can't tell me that Bruno Fernandes feels he's comfortable when he's getting pelters every week from the media, from the fans, from people saying he's not good enough. He's our captain, he's not doing enough. So don't talk about we can't say people is comfortable, right? I don't think people are comfortable.
I think
Also,
they are, man. Look at the way they're playing and moving on the pitch, bro. Because Casemiro knows, even if he has 3 bad games in a row, he's still playing in the fourth game, bro. Whereas, look at a person like Anthony. He has a good game and he still gets benched for a person who's not playing well. That sends the wrong kind of message, surely. Surely.
Anthony, Anthony, Anthony started every single game since your brother man started every single. He put in stinker after stinker after stinker after stinker, and then we had to drop him. And then Garnacho came in the team, and Garnacho took his shirt, and that has been the issue. Only until recently, Anthony started playing well. Literally, I
Yeah,
think it
but
was
that's what I'm.
Chelsea.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he's played bad. You gave him another chance. He plays good, but you bench him anyway. It almost as if it doesn't matter whether I play good or not. That's just what it gives off. You have to understand that sometimes certain decisions, even if that's not the intention of the manager, they can rub people off because like these are people at the end of the day. You know, if I'm going through a bad run of form as a person, and then you take me off, it's fine, it's justified. I'm not doing good, but then you bring me back and you say I'm gonna give you another try, and I play good. But then you take me off immediately and give the person who's been bad recently. I'm not talking about because if you're gonna do the whole he was bad in the at the beginning, then yeah, then people can't complain that he plays Rashford because Rashford he was good for us last season. Then that means you're playing people based on the credit in the bank rather than what have you done recently for me, which is not good in my opinion. Because if you're not in good form, I don't want you on my pitch. You're gonna hurt us.
Yeah, but that's so fickle though. So now you're saying you're only good enough when you're in form.
Yes,
Where I think you can you. But then what if you have no one in form? When nobody's in form now,
but what's the
now you,
probability of that, John? Come on, surely. What is
bro.
the probability?
Okay, question.
Nobody,
Throughout the season,
nobody
throughout the season, right? Who has been constantly in form?
throughout the season in this team. Nobody.
Kobe, Kobe. Let's say Kobe, right?
Okay, yeah.
Kobe.
So yeah, it's only recently when but he's played a
Yeah,
lot of minutes. Yeah.
yeah. So Kobe has been constantly good, right? He's made some mistakes. He's been poor in some games. Some games, no. He's not been poor in some games. He has been poor in moments, right? But he still played
Yes.
well.
Yes.
The problem that we have, right? Now Kobe starts. And warranted Kobe starts every game. Ericsson on the bench. All right? We know that he doesn't have the legs to compete anymore. Casemiro is the DM. Are we now saying that because of form, you're going to bring in someone with no legs? All right? Or someone that has never ever been in form in Amrabat, who I think is not good enough. And his whole makeup is sus. So now you have to you have to say based on form, Casemiro is the best pick because his relationship with Bruno is good. They have a good relationship
Non-existent.
with Bruno.
It's
No, no,
non-existent. It's non-existent. I'm sorry. What relationship? When Bruno is the one who have to track back and try and do some defensive work. What relationship? We have no middle, John. It doesn't
bro,
exist.
we have no midfield
Kobe's been
because
carrying that midfield. Our young player has been carrying the
nah, I
midfield.
disagree, bro. I honestly disagree. I think I think Bruno and bro, just last season there was a time where Ericsson, Casemiro, and Bruno never lost a game. Or they lost the least amount of games or some weird stat like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now all of a sudden we're saying they don't have a relationship.
As you said last season, John. And if we were in last season, me and you would be in agreement. But I'm looking at the 23-24 season, and the relationship is not there. It's almost as if people have become strangers on that pitch.
But we know that's not true.
So then why are they all caught out of position and you're finding other people having to cover for those people? So what relationship do they have? Is it a relationship of you can just be on the pitch and I'll pitch up for you so that you can still pick up your paycheck at the end of the week? What relationship is it? Because it looks toxic to me. If the people can just run through us. Pause. No Diddy.
That's crazy. But okay, I understand what you're saying, right? I don't see it that way. I don't see it that way. And yeah, I do want to get on
The
to
ups.
Arsenal and to Liverpool. So if you're new here, if you're watching the game, if you're watching the stream, um, non-live or later on, like the video, subscribe, leave a comment. Don't be hateful. Be
Yeah, no,
nice.
no.
Love your
Yes.
neighbor. And yeah, we really appreciate the support. We know that a lot of people in here, like Mark, is our friends. So we appreciate you, Mark, especially you being an Arsenal fan. Because right now we're gonna get into Arsenal. And I wanna tell you, Vegeta,
Yes.
2-0. Oli Wakini. Olivier Wakini. Hey!
Yes. They call him the final level I show speed.
Bro, bro, I show speed in Villa. Nah. I show speed with a chippy chip. With chips that you get at, what's it, Snookies? Nah, it's crazy. Also, please tell me how you have the best defense in the league, but you letting Leon Bailey come in from the back post unmarked. Do what you want to Leon. Go on. We know we're fighting for the title. But you know what? School, my friend. School. All my players is going to be on this side of the box. You can have this space. If the ball comes to you, do your best. Do your best. And then what? Bang. Goal. Then on top of it, we have Olivier. He's French now. Olivier Wakini running through on goal. Apparently, I think it was Gabriel. Was it Gabriel or Saliba that was chasing back? One of them. Or someone was chasing back. No
I missed the
pace.
first half.
No pace, bro. Absolutely no pace. Olivier just put it out put it wide. Runs the ball to the edge. Chippy. Bye bye Arsenal's hopes and dreams for the title. All season we're gonna do this. Whole
You
season,
can do this.
Arteta. Arteta's the one, brother. Arsenal's Arsenal. 100 million spent on Rice. Saliba, best centre back in the world. Gabriel, apparently best centre back in the world. We have Zinchenko, who's fantastic. Ben White, best right back in the world. Declan Rice, best thing Arsenal's ever seen in the midfield. We don't need Thomas Partey. Kai Havertz, signing of the season. Saka, world class. Bro, what now? What now?
I want to
Arsenal
know who
doing what they
thought.
do best. Difference is they're now collapsing in April rather than
No, no.
February. Yay!
If I had a soundboard right now, I'd play a sound for you. But yo, I want to know who taught Saka how to limp when the tough gets going. It seems like whenever he's not having a good game, my man is always limping, bro. Like, is that something that Arteta trains them? Is that something we should have seen on All or Nothing that we didn't
Look at
see?
this. Look at this. Somebody can take a look at this. Look at Mark violating the chat with his rubbish. Bro, your defense is your defense. Your defense is Ramsdale, Raya, Saliba, Ben White, Gabriel, Magalesh, what's it, Tomiyasu, Kivio, and Zani boy. He's the best signing since he was your signing last season.
Well,
Fantastic.
he inverts. To be fair, that's his job. He
Ah,
inverts.
bro. But he can't invert into the league. We'd be winning 2 leagues.
So, what do you think it was? Do you
No,
think it's the fact that Liverpool?
look at this guy.
What?
Look at this guy.
Wow. You know
So
what?
you
If
telling me,
City,
no? Yeah, Vegeta. So you telling me, Vegeta, that just quickly, man to man, you telling me Arsenal lost to Villa because City broke rules?
hmm, I think Arsenal lost to Villa because Liverpool lost, and they realized that the impetus was on them. And when the ball was passed into their court, they scored an own goal. Unfortunately,
Arsenal is Arsenal. Mark, this is your team. Welcome to your team. We knew this was gonna happen, alright? We all knew this was gonna happen. Like it's literally a joke. Like it's it's funny, no? When someone makes a joke, like a
the
rude joke,
villain
and
is
but it's
born.
true, and then it's funny, yeah. Like if I say, like for example, no, I'm not gonna say something rude because that's not fun. But we know Arsenal's gonna bottle it. The same way we know Spurs is gonna bottle it. The same way we know Liverpool is gonna bottle it. Because this is the same thing that happened 2 seasons ago. We're gonna win the quadruple. We're gonna win the quadruple. Fast forward 2 seasons on. Atalanta, bang bang. Crystal Palace, bang. Cheers, buddy. Out of the league, out of the Europa League. Carabao Cup in third place. Carabao Cup in second place. Wherever you want to land, that's where you'll land. But you're not going to win more than a Carabao. Please tell me, Vegeta. Please tell me how it's possible that you have Crystal Palace, who changed their manager, who don't have an identity or a style of play, with players like Olise and Eze and all of these different players being out injured, coming back, getting injured again, coming back, going out in, snip, 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 like the office, like Michael from the office,
Hmm.
constantly being injured, and they still coming to your background, to your yard, brother, pulling up to
Hmm.
your yard, coming into your
Hmm.
house, sitting down and saying, "Give me a cup of tea, please. Give me a piece of bread. We own this place." Brother, man, no, you're not serious about life. And this is from a manager that's supposed to be leaving, and it's supposed to be his last hurrah. You know, when our manager left, greatest of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson,
We won the
didn't he give
league.
us a trophy, Vegeta?
We won the league.
Oh, and you know what? You know what's funnier? We won the league with Tom Cleverley. We won the league with a Ryan Giggs, a Paul Scholes who came out of retirement. We won the league with players that was coming to the end of their career, and yet we still won the league.
It's not built for everybody, but you know what? I'm glad you touched on Liverpool. Ha! This is my segment. I hate Arsenal, but Liverpool. Last year they told us third in a Carabao Cup. They celebrating third in a Carabao Cup. Well, look at life, right? Look at life. You might just end up with third in a Carabao Cup. I hope you guys have that parade for club. I really hope so.
Yo,
Go and parade that League Cup, that energy drink club, please, because it doesn't seem like you're getting Europa League either. What happened, Liverpool? 3-0 at your home. Hmm? That's disgusting. Klopp thought he could show up and smoke crystal meth. Instead, he got folded and put in a spliff himself. It's terrible. It's terrible, Klopp. Man is smiling when his team is losing. He's in pain. I could see the pain in Klopp's eyes. He's like, what's happening right now? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. And they're gonna tell us that City and Liverpool's the greatest rivalry. You've only had one league, and that was during COVID. You failure. You leaving here a failure. How dare you? You want to talk about rivalries? Ask Mourinho and Arsene Wenger how you have a proper rivalry. Not your buddy system here with Pep. Pep was stealing your woman from underneath your feet when you guys were being buddies. That's what he did to you when he gave you that one league title. Ah, Chomi, but he's stealing from you. And you call that a rivalry, sis. I'm happy though, good. And I hope that energy of will be there. Because I will be there when Liverpool don't win the league.
oh,
I'll, I'll be there no matter what. Look at all these Liverpool fans walking alone. Good.
yo,
That's all I wanted to say.
good. Look at all these Liverpool fans. Yeah, that take that to the bank. Look at all these Liverpool fans walking alone. We get up. Do you know what is funny? No, these fans, especially now, this is the reason why Liverpool is my favorite club to paint. Come I tell you why?
Okay, I'm
They
listening.
are so big. Yeah, right. When they win, everybody has a shirt. The malls, the restaurants, wherever you go, the beach, Liverpool, 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 Liverpool. For years, you haven't seen a Liverpool sweater. There was never a Liverpool sweater around. Now you see them come out. Now they come out with a what you call it. Um, now I support Liverpool. Know this, know that, know this, know that. We this, we that. You know Klopp. You know Van Dijk. You know Salah. What now, Owens? What now? One trophy in 7 years, 8 years, sorry. One trophy, and this is the best Liverpool team. Jamie Carragher literally was saying this Liverpool team would rival the team of City, having conversations like, oh, is this Liverpool team the best team that the Premier League has season? Well, no, they're not. Obviously, they're not. Because one trophy in the last well, it's 8 years and there's a new team now, but the last 7 years, they couldn't win one trophy. And you're telling me this is the best team? Hold up, wait a minute.
Look about the
Now we're
best
talking
team
about,
assembled.
bro, now we're talking about the fact that he's now supposed to be the best manager, right?
Yes.
I heard Klopp makes players. My brother, how much millions did you spend? How much did Van Dijk cost? All right? How much did Sabozlai
Mm,
cost? How much did Nunes
mm,
cost? How much did all of these players
mm,
cost? You spend money. You spend money for these players. So don't come and tell me Klopp makes players. I understand he makes he he made Robertson. I agree. But we knew McAllister was a good player. We knew that he was a good player. But hyping him up to make him bigger than what he is what Liverpool does. All right. But look now. All of a sudden, no league title, No Europa League, only a Carabao because Chelsea's bottlers. And now you're gonna have to have a new manager, and you're not getting Xabi Alonso. And that sporting guy Amarin is saying that he doesn't know where he's gonna be. So
Yeah, I don't think
yeah,
they're gonna get him. I don't think they're gonna get the Sporting guy. But anyway, Liverpool fans, what happened to the quadruple? I'm gonna get the quadruple. What happened to the quadruple, Liverpool fans? The quadruple turned into a Carabao Cup. And if you guys celebrate shamelessly, oh, I will be there. You guys reminded us last season. And United fans are shameless. Yes, we're gonna be shameless. We're going to look at you
bro, bro,
and best
we
believe we're
going to
bringing our FA Cup with us.
we're having a preview for FA Cup preview on Wednesday. I like Wednesday,
Yeah,
Thursday. We're
yeah, yeah.
having a preview on Wednesday for everybody that's here. We're having a preview FA Cup Wednesday, right? And we're going to enjoy because we're going to Wembley again, right? How many times has Klopp been to Wembley? Let me check. Wait, I will get that information. And if you tell me, Vegeta, who's here, Mark, Mental, whoever's here in the chat, if you tell me that Ten Hag has been to Wembley more times than Klopp, brother man, brother man, it's peak. It is peak. Let me tell you, it is peak. So
I will be
yeah,
surprised. He was too busy entertaining his bromance, high fiving Pep Guardiola to be going to Wembley. You know what? Pep stole his ticket to Wembley. That's why Pep has a lot of league titles. Mm. Darwin Nunes, Darwin Noodles, rubbish. Van Dyke, it's finished. Next year, we're gonna go back to the Skirtle type of Liverpool. I can't wait.
I think Liverpool and Arsenal missing that one player that can activate him in front of goal.
Eh?
Okay, just ignore that. Just ignore that comment.
Hmm.
But any final thoughts,
Tabella.
there, Vegeta?
Yeah. Final thoughts is yeah. I don't know if we're gonna make European football. I hope we do. Otherwise,
Mm,
that's gonna be embarrassing for us. But Champions League, I think we can safely say is not gonna happen. I don't think it is.
mm.
Marcel from United View, bro, that is starting to look crazy, bro. We're gonna finish third. You're starting to look crazy, my guy. That wow. And then to the players, again, I'm just gonna say what I've been saying, guys. Just try to finish strong. We've had a bad season. Give us something to cheer, man. I mean, we've seen that Spurs and Aston Villa are gonna drop points. Now we're competing with Newcastle on top of that. Yeah, but I will say this: I don't think Ten Hag is going out anyway. So I think people just need to support this team for the rest of the season, and let's see what Ineos. I hope we have a good summer. I'll say that much. I hope deals happen a lot quicker. I hope we get surprised and see somebody leave that we wouldn't expect to leave, and we get rid of a lot of the dead wood. And maybe it takes doing what Arsenal did with Aubameyang and Ozil, just rip it up. Yes, it will hurt us in terms of financial fair play, but it sends the right message, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, still a United fan. Glory, glory, Man United. And Klopp. Sayonara, friend. Sayonara. It's good to see you go, my guy. Eras come to an end. A certain manager said that.
Ah. Everybody in the chat, thank you very much for joining us. If you streaming after the fact, hit a comment, say something nice, say something funny about Liverpool, say something funny about Arsenal. If you're an Arsenal fan, tell me how you're feeling. I want to know how you're feeling. Not so that I can reminisce with you. I do want to laugh at you because you made the choice. Like I made the choice to support United and a speaker right now for us, but a speaker right now for you as well. So thank you, Vimental, for getting involved. Thank you, Tapelo. Do you guys think Ineos want another season to pass by so they can pay less to five? It's not about money, Tapelo, but we will see you guys soon. That guy now just threw me off. But yeah, thank you very much. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 100k subscribers by next week.
Wow, John. Wait, what? By next week. Okay.
I'm joking. We try to hit 100 subscribers. So yeah, so we're trying to grow this channel. We're trying to really to do the most out here on YouTube. And
Yeah.
yeah, get involved in the comments. You guys can see our social medias under the description. And yeah, like the page, subscribe. And if you like the content, drop us a comment. We really do appreciate you. Ne? But on that note, peace out. Liverpool,
Peace.
Arsenal in the mud. Cheers, people.
Dead.
Bye.